I am so happy with how this looks for the Rangers. We have a pitcher, Jack Leiter, and he is a dude.
And while I do think his hitting is worse than Derek Jeter, it's not that far off.
You're not mentioning 2006. You can mention the other people, not 2006.
Oh, just because I bought the best soap doesn't mean your room's going to be clean. It just leaves it to where I don't believe that the Canadians had a shot.
I really don't like the Clippers just kind of sending it in when they're like...
Hi, this is Kelly Forbes with the Dallas Stars, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NHL Opinions of the Week. And a team that does the postseason right. We've talked about how it's the best postseason in our opinions. And they give us time to record the video, and then games start tomorrow as the day we are posting this. But we, of course, have to do our playoff predictions. And, of course, the man that I'm trying to think. I don't remember. You had a great record of you got both champions. You had both finalists, but you had the wrong champion, Austin, in one a few years ago.
Yeah, I think you've beaten me the past couple years, though, by getting the champion correct.
Yeah, I had the Panthers last year, and then I had the Golden Knights the year prior. So, but yeah. So I have gotten the champion.
Yeah, so I think you've won the past couple years, but this is going to be a very interesting postseason. I'm extremely excited for this starting, and let's get right into it. Which conference do you want to start with?
I think we can. I don't know. I think we'll just go into the West. I think that's going to be really exciting, just throughout the postseason.
Okay, we'll start off with the top seed. We'll just do my entire first round and then your entire first round, and we'll move on from there. So first, it is Jets and Blues. I do have the Blues making the upset. The Jets have really struggled in the first round. I don't think the Blues are a good competition because I think that Jim Montgomery's just that good of a head coach. I know that he's had some struggles before, notably the Game 7 loss to the Panthers when the Bruins were the best regular season team in NHL history, but the Blues have been extremely hot to end the season. I don't know if you've seen, Kevin, how hot they've been, but they've lost 3 games since March 13th. The Blues have 3 games since March 13th.
12 straight wins.
Yeah,
I know at one point.
And some of the losses they've had have been by 1 goal. They've only had one by multiple goals, and that was against Winnipeg. They lost a game in a shootout. They lost to a game against the Oilers, and they lost by 2 to Winnipeg. But I think the Blues get it done in 7.
Ooh, okay. All right.
And then we'll go Stars versus Avalanche. I have the Avalanche winning in 6. The Stars, I'm worried about how they're going to perform this postseason. I do not like their decor. I know I said that before the season, and they've really ended off this season poorly. We'll see. They definitely have time to turn around, obviously, the postseason when they can do it. And they've been good in the postseason in previous years, but we'll have to see if they can power through. Then it's Vegas versus the Wild. I have Vegas winning in 5. They've just been a very good team this year. Their power play looks amazing. And I think they're poised for a run after having a little bit more than disappointing last season. And then Kings versus Oilers. This has been a series that continues to happen and happen and happen. And I think the Oilers win again. I know the Kings are the higher seed, but I think the Oilers just have their number, and it's really hard to stop Draisaitl and McDavid in the postseason. I have them. I have the Oilers winning in 6.
Okay. Yeah, you have a lot of repeats. The Stars Avalanche has just a lot of drama with it over the past few years. I texted an Avalanche fan, and he said he was getting flashbacks. But before I get to that, I actually have the Jets beating the Blues, but I have it going to 7. I thought about having the Blues, but we talked about Hellebuck, and I'm like, maybe Hellebuck gives them one series where I know they've struggled in the past, but I can see him getting one series win in the first round, and they advance. Then I do agree. I have the Avalanche beating the Stars in 7. You have Jason Robertson going down for a week-to-week injury. There are talks of Miro possibly coming back in the first round, that would help their decor. But yeah, they just haven't played well, and we'll have to see. But yeah, I think there's a lot of moving pieces, but it should be exciting, and I think it will go down to the wire. So, but I have the Avalanche winning in 7. Then I have Vegas beating the Wild in 6. And of course, I have Edmonton beating the Kings as well in 7.
Okay, let's go to the second round. I'll let you start that off.
So I have Vegas versus the Oilers, and I have the Oilers winning in 7. You mentioned McDavid, Draisaitl. It's hard to stop them, and Skinner does okay. He kind of has his moments, and that's what he had on their run last year. So I have them winning. Next, I have the Jets versus Avalanche, which is a rematch of last year in the first round. And I have the Avalanche beating the Jets in 6. This is where you see, I think, Hellebuck slow down. And the Avalanche scored a lot on Hellebuck last year. So I have the Avalanche advancing to the Western Conference Finals.
Okay, I will say one of us is going to be horribly wrong. There's no way we're both right because we're completely different. I have Vegas versus Oilers. I have Vegas winning in 7. Same amount of games, so no one's going to get points there if the other person doesn't, right? So both of us are either going to get the point or not the point for the amount of games, and we have different winners. And then I have Blues versus Avalanche, and I have the Blues winning in 6. So while yours is Avalanche Oilers, mine is Blues Vegas. So we have a very different Western Conference final. I'll do mine first. I have Vegas winning in 5 over St. Louis. So St. Louis run comes to the end in the Western Conference final.
Yeah, this one, it does come down to, as long as Vegas and the Oilers face each other, it would come down to that matchup, but things could change because I have the Oilers advancing against the Avalanche in 7 games.
Okay.
So I have them returning to the postseason, returning to the Stanley Cup final. So yeah,
well,
that's going to be a big matchup for us.
I agree.
So, okay.
Here's where Vegas and the Oilers lose in the first round.
Yeah. Then we're pretty much, that's tough for us. But yeah, I'll go on the East. Toronto versus Ottawa. I have Toronto winning in 6. Tampa versus the Lightning versus the Panthers. I have Florida winning in 6. I think it's going to be a close matchup, and we've talked about just Florida and kind of the amount of games they've played, but I do think they get that first round win. Then I have the Capitals beating the Canadiens in 5, and then the Hurricanes beating the Devils in 7.
Okay, so we'll start off with Toronto versus Ottawa. I have Ottawa winning in 7. Linus Ullmark is the starting goaltender for Ottawa for the Senators, and we know what team he plays for before this. He played in Boston, a Boston team that beat Toronto last year in the first round. I know Toronto's had their struggles, and they did beat the Lightning back in 2022 in the first round, or 2023 in the first round. But I don't think they're going to get over their woes here. I think Linus Ullmark and whoever else they have in net in Ottawa will stand on their head. And Ottawa's been a very, very good team this year. Lightning versus the Panthers, we differ again. I have the Lightning winning in 5. I think the Panthers, it's hard to go to back-to-back-to-back. And I know the Lightning did it, but the Lightning look really good. They're going to have home ice advantage in this series, and I think Lightning take advantage of that. Next, we'll go Hurricanes versus Devils. This is my one sweep in the first round. I had the Hurricanes sweeping the Devils. The Devils have really struggled with injury this year, and I think because of that, they're going to have a lot of fits putting up with this Hurricanes team. And then Capitals, Canadiens, I keep going back and forth because the Canadiens have playoff experience with their young guys. They know how to win, but this Capitals team seems a little bit like a team of destiny. I have the Capitals winning in 6.
Okay. All right. So I'll let you go into your second round then. You have the Capitals versus the Hurricanes.
Yeah. Capitals versus Hurricanes. We'll do that one first. I have the Hurricanes winning in 6. While I do think the Capitals kind of seem like a team of destiny, I just think I don't like their goaltending situation enough for me to really like this matchup. And the Hurricanes have been there, and they are trying. They were one of our teams that was a Stanley Cup or bust team this year, and I think they're going to be extremely desperate. They're getting older, and they got to do it this year. If it's not, I don't know when it is. I mean, I've said that before, but I mean, you have a lot of guys on your roster that are extremely, extremely old. If we just look at age, they have let's see, they have Brent Burns, who's 39. They have Jordan Stahl, their captain, who's 36. They have Frederick Anderson, who's 35. And so they have a good bit of older guys. They do have some younger guys, but it's going to be hard for them moving forward because they're going to lose a lot of these older guys in a couple of years. But then we go down to the other side where I have the Senators versus Lightning, and I have the Lightning winning in 6.
Okay. All right. So this one, I talk about the Hurricanes. They also had that Mikko Rantanen trade where they traded for him, then they traded him away, and they got Stankoven and some picks back. But that's kind of, they went for an all-in move. It didn't work, and they adjusted. So it's just kind of further puts more into they want to get things right for this season. However, I have the Capitals beating the Hurricanes in 6. I feel the Hurricanes' offense struggles, which is kind of what they tried to do with the Rantanen move, and it just wasn't working. So I kind of view the Capitals' offense giving them enough to beat the Hurricanes. Then I have Florida beating Toronto in 7. So I have the Panthers going back to the Eastern Conference Finals for a 3rd time in a row. And I have the Panthers facing the Capitals and beating the Capitals because I just don't think the Capitals can quite finish. And I do kind of think about they sort of feel like a team of destiny, but I think the Panthers get back to the finals and they go through the Capitals in 7 games.
Okay, I have the Canes versus Lightning, and I have the Canes doing what the Canes always do, get swept in the Eastern Conference Final. I have the Lightning beating them in 4 games. So I have my Western Conference Final only being 5 games, my Eastern Conference Final only being 4 games.
Yeah, which would fit in. No, it was short in the. It was 6 games, but the Stars struggled against the Oilers, so it was relatively quick for both sides. So I have a matchup of the Oilers versus Panthers, and you have a matchup of
Vegas and Lightning.
Okay, ooh, that'd be a fun one. Who do you have winning?
I have the Tampa Bay Lightning winning in 7 games.
Oh, okay. That's wouldn't be quite a dynasty. They're, I think, out of the realm of dynasty or adding to that dynasty.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Because it's the same, even though you lost Stamkos, you still have Kucherov and Hedman and Vasilevsky and Point. You have a lot of the guys that are still on from those teams. So
I'm trying to think of the years though. Like when was their last championship? 3 years ago?
21.
21.
But they also made the title game in 22. They won in 20 and 21. Lost in the title in 22. But it's kind of like saying that the 22 Warriors doesn't count for their dynasty. Right?
Yeah.
They won in 2018, right? That's the same amount of time. So
okay. Yeah, I guess
21 to 25 is 4 years.
21.
Yeah, 21 to 25.
5 year.
Yeah, it's 4 years. So 21 to 25 is 4 years, and same with 18 to 22 for the Warriors. So you have to count one or the other, right? So
yeah, okay, yeah. I wasn't sure. I was doing the math wrong. I think as long as in that 5 or 6 years range, then yeah, would continue with that. So that would be interesting. Conn Smythe winner,
Andre Vasilevsky.
Ooh, that's a good one. I have the Panthers and the Oilers in a rematch. It goes 7, and I have the Oilers winning and beating the Panthers. I think the Panthers lose gas in this one, and I have Leon Draisaitl being the Conn Smythe winner.
Okay.
So, okay. We'll have to see what happens. I think it's going to be an exciting playoffs, and make sure you're following us for that. We appreciate you listening to Outsiders Opinions. Let us know your thoughts in the comments.